William didn't know that Harry and Meghan had already recorded their poison for Netflix. It was already edited.
Something's brewing behind the palace walls again. And no, it's not another coronation, wedding, or family gathering. This time, it's Prince Harry. Once again making headlines for all the wrong reasons. This time, the stakes are higher. Because Harry isn't just giving another interview or dropping another memoir, he's allegedly plotting something far bigger, far more controversial. Before we go deeper, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now, because what you're about to hear is the kind of royal scandal the firm doesn't want you to think too hard about. You don't want to miss what comes next. Let's rewind for a second. Just a few years ago, Harry and Meghan made the dramatic exit heard around the world, ditching the monarchy, fleeing to California, and declaring their independence from royal life. What followed was a storm of accusations, bombshell interviews, and global headlines that shattered whatever goodwill was left. The Oprah interview, the Netflix docuseries, the tell-all memoir spare. If you thought that was the end, think again. Because according to investigative journalist Tom Bauer, the same man who's been digging into royal secrets for decades, Harry has been secretly sending messages to royal aides, quietly testing the waters for a potential return. It's not just to visit, it's not to attend some charity gala, but to come back in some official capacity. But here's the twist. He doesn't want to return as a full-time royal. No, that would involve rules, obligations, and actual responsibilities. What Harry allegedly wants is a hybrid model, half royal, half celebrity. Imagine clocking into Buckingham Palace when convenient, and jetting back to Montecito for podcast interviews and red carpets. It's royalty on his own terms, the crown without the curtsy. And that's exactly why the palace and the public are having none of it. Inside Buckingham Palace, sources say the atmosphere is ice cold. Palace staff no longer refer to him as Prince Harry. Some reportedly call him the former, and not in a kind way. Even the idea of a return has sparked fury, now forgiveness. Prince William, once his closest ally and brother, has reportedly made it clear any suggestion of reconciliation is off the table. After all, Harry didn't just criticize the family, he exposed them. He accused his brother of violence, painted Queen Camilla as manipulative, and described his father, King Charles, as cold and emotionally distant. These weren't just family squabbles, there were public executions of royal reputation. Yes. And the royals, don't forget Camilla, in particular, is said to be absolutely livid. After spending decades rebuilding her image and finally securing her place as queen consort, she was dragged through the mud in despair. Harry portrayed her as heartless and power-hungry, and Camilla hasn't taken that lightly. Behind the scenes, she's reportedly been the loudest voice saying absolutely not to any idea of Harry rejoining the family, even in the most limited role. She's warned Charles that welcoming Harry back would be inviting chaos into a system that relies on discipline and control. And then there's the British public polls show that more than 70% of people in the UK strongly oppose Harry returning to royal duties in any form. On social media, the hashtags say it all. Hashtag no way Harry. Hashtag royal reject. Memes mocking his return have gone viral. One tweet reads, "You don't get to trash the family crest and come back wearing it when Hollywood doesn't work out." Brutal. But many would say, fair. So why is Harry suddenly trying to come back? According to insiders, the answer is simple. Survival. The dream of becoming a global power couple has hit reality hard. Their Spotify deal is gone. Their Netflix projects are in limbo. Meghan's lifestyle brand is barely a whisper in the marketplace. It's their massive Montecito mansion. The PR teams, the private security, none of that comes cheap. We're talking millions a year just to maintain the illusion of royal caliber living, and with no solid income stream, the pressure is mounting fast. Some insiders suggest Harry isn't motivated by family ties or emotional healing. This isn't about love, it's about image, about brand preservation, about finding a new way to stay relevant and paid. But there's a problem. The monarchy doesn't do part-time. There's no precedent, and no desire. For a royal who wants to cherry-pick duties while maintaining a lucrative media persona, the crown isn't a costume. It's a lifelong contract. And you don't get to walk out on it, cash in on the scandal, then come crawling back when the fame fades. What's worse is that this comeback attempt may have been miscalculated from the start. According to some palace sources, Harry's behind-the-scenes outreach wasn't met with interest. It was met with silence.
Called stony silence. How do you say it?
Even those who once supported him are distancing themselves. Some insiders call him a ghost. Of the institution, his presence lingers in memory, but he is no longer welcome in body or name. Camilla isn't alone in her opposition. William has reportedly told aides to never bring up the idea of reconciliation again. The pain runs too deep. The trust is too broken. In the royal family, betrayal is the one sin that can't be forgiven. You don't just burn bridges, you burn your legacy. And it's not just about personal pain. For William, this is about protecting the integrity of the monarchy. He understands that letting Harry back in any form, would signal weakness, hypocrisy, and inconsistency to the world. The royal family preaches tradition, loyalty, and duty. Harry represents chaos, commercialism, and instability. You can't mix the two and expect the world to respect either, in fact. William is said to be more furious now than at any point since the feud began, not because of one specific insult, but because of the totality of the betrayal. From turning private grief into Netflix content to monetizing royal rifts through branded trauma. Harry hasn't just stepped outside the royal fold, he's weaponized his exit. And now, he wants back in? Coming up in the next section, the shocking role Queen Camilla is playing behind the scenes, and why some insiders say she may be the most powerful force keeping Harry out for good. Asterisk, but it's not just William holding the line. Behind the scenes, Queen Camilla has become the monarchy's unexpected firewall. According to multiple insiders, she's drawn a firm boundary, one that even King Charles won't cross lightly. Her message is simple. After being publicly humiliated and spare, she's not willing to see Harry rejoin the family and risk reopening those wounds, Camilla reportedly told Charles. He didn't just insult me, he tried to destroy everything we've worked for. And with the public finally warming up to her after years of scandal, she's not about to let one rebellious prince undo decades of careful PR rebuilding. What's more, Camilla isn't alone. Senior courtiers, longtime palace aides, even extended members of the royal household, they're all standing firm. There's no appetite for negotiation, no whispers of compromise. The royal machine has moved on, and Harry is no longer part of the system. Meanwhile, the media climate isn't helping his case. British tabloids, once cautiously curious, are now openly hostile. Headlines mock his desperate rebrand. Opinion pieces slam the hypocrisy of wanting back in after torching the institution. And on social media, the sentiment is even colder. "You walked away, I'll stay gone," one viral post declared. Even in Hollywood, the glow has dimmed. Executives no longer see Harry and Meghan as fresh or edgy, they see risk. Producers reportedly view the couple as unpredictable and overexposed. One industry insider put it bluntly: they've turned every personal connection into a headline. Who's going to trust them with a new project? With their brand struggling and public sympathy eroding, Harry's alleged attempt at reconciliation feels less like redemption and more like damage control. A move not from strength, but from necessity. But here's the real kicker: the monarchy doesn't do second chances when trust is gone, not in public, not in private, not even for a prince. King Charles has always been seen as the monarch of quiet endurance. He's weathered scandals, divorces, and decades of public criticism. But even he reportedly has had enough. According to royal insiders, Charles was deeply hurt by the way Harry portrayed him in Spare, not just as a distant father, but as emotionally cold and unfeeling. For a man who's spent his life trying to keep the family united, those words cut deep. And yet Charles didn't retaliate. He didn't lash out publicly, stayed silent until now. Sources close to the palace claim Charles has grown weary of the chaos, not angry, disappointed, but a heavy kind of disappointment that leaves no room for repair. Behind the scenes, he's made it clear: Harry's request for a partial return isn't just unworkable, it's unwelcome. More importantly, the crown must protect itself. And Charles knows the monarchy can't afford to look unstable, especially not now. With Queen Elizabeth gone, the world is watching how he leads. Any sign of weakness, inconsistency, or emotional decision-making could damage the institution's carefully rebuilt reputation. And that's exactly why Charles, despite being a father, is acting as a king. He's drawing a line between family and duty, and in that line, Harry stands alone. Back in California, things aren't getting easier. Their financial safety net is shrinking. The Spotify deal is already dead. Netflix is reportedly scaling back. Meghan's lifestyle ventures haven't launched as planned, and maintaining a Montecito mansion, security, and PR teams isn't cheap. Insiders say Harry has made quiet calls to former UK contacts not to catch up, but to explore business. It's not about coming home, it's about staying relevant. Asterisk, the British public hasn't forgotten. They definitely haven't forgiven. What once began as a story of independence, breaking free for love, has morphed into something else entirely. People now see it for what it's become. A cycle of blame, exposure, commercialized victimhood. From the Oprah interview to the Netflix docuseries. From Spare to every podcast, every statement, every leak, it all seemed less about truth and more about attention. And when the tide of public sympathy turned, it turned hard. Today, polls show a staggering majority of UK citizens oppose Harry's return to any royal duties. The comments are unfiltered. You made your choice. You sold your story. You don't get to leave, monetize the fallout, then expect the door to still be open. Even memes and satire have become part of the narrative. One viral image shows a golden crown with the words, "Betrayal has no refund policy." And the sentiment isn't limited to the UK. Global audiences who once cheered for the Sussexes are now quietly turning away. The story of Harry and Meghan no longer feels inspirational. It feels tired, repetitive, marketed. Even PR professionals have weighed in. Several high-profile branding experts have said the Sussexes misjudged their audience. What they thought would be a redemption arc became a cautionary tale. Instead of a couple overcoming adversity, they now appear as people profiting from family dysfunction, then asking for forgiveness when the checks slow down. Asterisk at this stage. The royal family's stance isn't emotional, it's strategic. The monarchy thrives on consistency, tradition, and control. Harry represents the opposite: unpredictability, emotional outbursts, and a media circus. Bringing him back, even partially, would send the wrong message, that the crown bends under pressure, and it does. William, Camilla, Charles, they're not just rejecting Harry the person, they're rejecting the chaos he brings. After years of rebuilding public trust, post-Diana, post-scandal, they're not about to risk it all on a prince who turned private pain into global content. Even the palace staff won't go near it. Former aides now reportedly refuse to participate in any planning that involves Harry. Some won't even mention his name. And here's the reality. The firm isn't just closing the door, they're locking it, asterisk. So where does that leave Harry? Not in Hollywood, where his star is fading. Not in the UK, where the royal gates have slammed shut. Not in between, because that half-out dream was never an option. He's caught between two worlds that no longer want him. The palace sees him as a liability. Hollywood sees him as overexposed. The audience, they've moved on. The tragic irony. Harry walked away for freedom, but now finds himself with nowhere left. To walk, no titles, no trust. There's no throne, just headlines and echoes. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment with your thoughts and share this video with someone following the royal drama, because one thing's for sure, this story isn't over. Royal chapter just might be. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.